Are you ready for it?
Whoa, whoa. Here I come.
Oh.
Here I come.
Hey, everybody. Round 2 Leather and Lumber Podcast presented by Lynx Baseball. Lynx Baseball sponsored by Marucci, the official bat of Major League Baseball. Marucci, honor the game. Got some merch going up. Lockerroom.maruccisports.com. Sign up. Store code Lynx Baseball, LYNX Baseball, all one word. 25% off. No discount codes. All you got to do, go to the store, go to the locker room, right? Sign up, use your email. It's free. Okay. Enter the store code, right? Everything on there is 25% off. We got Lynx gear. We got Marucci stuff, bats, gloves, batting gloves, anything you need for baseball. And their new line of shoes is amazing. Some of my favorite turf shoes I think I've ever had on. When I was a player, I was a Nike athlete. And I think these blow those Nike shoes out of the water. So, if you haven't gone and gotten a pair, go over to the locker room, scoop you up a pair. I think they're like $66 for a pair of turf shoes. And in this day and age, that is dirt cheap. So check them out. Here we go. Episode 2. My co-host, Dennis Delgado.
Left me off the first one, bro. What happened?
Yeah, that, hey, life happens and, we had to get going. So I think you had a business meeting or something.
Just always too busy for a presidente.
Yeah, let's not make that happen again, please. So here we go.
Make that a habit.
Denny, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell the listeners who you are.
Yep, Dennis Delgado, based out of in North Carolina, not too far from where Jon lives. Played baseball my whole life. Played a little bit of Division II ball, JUCO ball. Decided to hang it up after that, and actually started coaching during my playing career, and that's when I met Jon. So I'm going into year 7 full time of kind of instructing in the summers and things like that. Joined Jon. We've been through 4 organizations now, if you want to call it that. Started
3.
out with a local travel ball that kind of transformed into like a higher level showcase. And then Jon went out on his own, and I joined him about 3 months after he started when we had the Dodger scout team. And always had the rising senior team, which was a big deal for me. Those teams were comprised of either the best players in the country that were already committed or kids that needed to find a home in the next few months. So that was a big task for me and my assistants and Jon and Manny, but I think got everyone situated, if I'm not mistaken, over those 2 years. Also an assistant coach at a local high school, so I'm around the game almost every day. But been with Jon now 6-7 years, like I said.
Yeah. Denny's been with me. I met Dennis as a 20-year-old kid. He was, I think, transferring into a local JUCO. He was helping us out at some practices for my former employer, North Carolina Developmental Baseball. I think he played for them. Actually, I think he was on the inaugural team.
The second group. One.
The second team.
It was the first summer they had a team. I was on it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. So, Dennis, why don't you tell the listeners what you do for the organization?
Yeah, I've done a lot. Stepped back from being a full-time coach. I had my own scout team, probably 4 or 5 seasons in a span of 2.5 years.
Yep.
A lot of ages. And then I've always helped out with recruiting when I can, even though it's Manny's job. I got a couple contacts that I usually call and see what they need and stuff like that. Now I'm more behind the scenes with the business side. Ever since we switched over kind of into our own thing, no longer affiliated. We're trying to keep the money a little cleaner and things like that, make sure we're spending it and putting it all for the boys and stuff like that. So gonna do some budget stuff, gonna help with the business, some branding, raising some money when we can, and hopefully be a little bit of a roving coach this summer for 2 or 3 events.
Yep. So we're going to segue right into that. Dennis is also our board of directors. He's on the board. He's been on the board from the jump since day one. So I'm going to kind of go through the board members right now, what they do, what their roles are, a little bit about their background in baseball. So I am the president of the board. I am the face of the organization. I kind of brought the Dodgers in when Manny and I started it. And then, as we transition to moving to Lynx baseball, president of the board, I run the show. I've got a lot of guys helping me. All these guys, I trust. They're friends of mine. You don't get on this board very easily. Next, Dennis, he just said he is kind of working with the business and the finance side. He helps with our budget. He just gave you guys his background, a couple years of JUCO ball, a couple years of Division II ball. Manny Beltran, Manny's our VP. He handles the recruiting side of this. He does our college recruiting, does our recruiting into the organization. Also does some NIL stuff for some of our players. Manny's been my right hand since day one. None of this would be possible without him. Next is Edwin Janeo. Edwin also handles some business development stuff and finance for us. He works alongside Dennis with the finance. Edwin, former college player, played 4 years at SUNY Farmingdale up in New York. Team captain, all conference for 3 years. High energy, high baseball IQ. Edwin's a great guy. He's been with us for now 3 years also. Son came through the program, Pfeiffer commit, plays the local high school here at Wakefield, and we'll be going to Pfeiffer in the fall. Next, Coach Ryan Kelly. Ryan's been with us for 2 years now. He is our director of travel. He also coaches our 2027 scout team. Ryan, 4 years of college, pitcher at Wheaton College, I believe. Just a great guy. Also helps out with USA Baseball. He's the assistant Midwest director. Helps Rich Janner and those guys over there with the Midwest at USA.
Good basketball coach too, I've heard.
Oh, great basketball coach. Coaches the freshman guys at Glenvar North, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, it's not Montini. But
yeah, no, it's not Montini. So next guy, Jim Whistler. Jim is our high school director of parent and player satisfaction. Kind of a funny title name. Jim has a kid in the organization. Jim is very in tune with the families. That's what we need him to do. We need to know what we're doing wrong, what we're doing good, what we can do better. He helps out a lot with that. He's got a lot of the ear of the families for the high school players. Just huge help to the organization. Jim comes from a baseball family. Jim played high school baseball. His dad played in college. His cousin played across 7 seasons in the major leagues. Whistler family is a really good baseball family.
It's a really important role, I think, because he's not afraid to play devil's advocate when a bunch of us non-parents, well, you're a dad, but you don't have a kid in the organization.
Yeah.
We're just rattling off ideas, and he's like, oh, hold on. How does this look to so-and-so's dad and mom and, stuff like that. So I think it's actually crucial what he does.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, so then next is David Piskorik. David is the middle school director of parent and player satisfaction. He does the same job as Jim. He just does it for the middle school age groups. David also has 2 kids in the organization. So it's those guys are, like Dennis said, they're extremely important to the organization, playing devil's advocate number one, but also having the ears to the ground and being able to talk to parents and stuff like that. Big deal for the organization as far as us growing and getting better. And then last but not least, Gary Mendoza. Gary is our Southwest director. Gary's out in California. He's going to run our Southwest groups. We're starting to get up, probably starting in the fall. We'll get going with those Southwest guys, have a few teams out there. Gary's going to run the show. Just a huge help thus far, bringing some players in. And
he's made a big splash right away for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got 20 years in the game. So, Gary got hurt at 18, started coaching right after that. I believe was in the Senior League World Series for softball as a coach. He's coached at the USA Championships. So, Gary's been around for a long, long time, and big splash immediately as soon as we brought him on.
He's very all business, never always serious, never a jokester.
That's right. All business. His kid's pretty good too.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the board of directors. I think the most important thing about our board is they really hold us accountable. They keep us grounded. They really, push us to push the envelope as far as the organization goes, and to think of new and creative ideas to make the organization better. Honestly, without those guys, this organization wouldn't be what it is today.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know a lot of the bigger teams have stuff like we do, but I think it's what separates us from the smaller local organizations, that sometimes decisions are made when no one else is involved. And sometimes that can be good, but most of the time, probably not a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're going to segue into our alumni corner. We're going to talk about an alumni Dodger Scout team, or we don't have any Lynx alumni yet. We are going into our first graduating class. Will be 2026. These guys that we're talking about now, they were Dodger Scout teamers. They played for us for a number of years. I'm going to lead us off. I'm going to shout out to Landon Skilly. He is at Liberty University. Landon from Mason County High School in Kentucky. Just super athletic, 3-sport star, basketball, football, baseball, and pretty brilliant. Was committed to Yale for a few years in high school. And, don't really know what happened there, but, he ends up at Liberty, and immediate impact, hitting 346, 14 games, 14 starts, 18 hits, 4 doubles, a homer, just tearing it up. Little too many swing and miss. He does have 14 punchies to 4 walks, but I mean, that kid can really play. Dennis, you coached him. What do you got on Landon?
Landon is the type of kid that that team I had was so good. I mean, our worst game that I can remember, I think we lost 3-1, and you would have thought we got run ruled. That's the type of team that was. But Landon would just quietly collect 2 to 3 hits each game, play a stellar short, third, second. Probably would have put on catcher's gear if I really needed him to. And then me and my assistant, Jalen, also still part of the organization, just one day looked at some stats and we're like, Landon's hitting like 400. He's banging balls off walls. I mean, just sneaky, like, really quiet kid and stuff like that. But my God, he was a gamer.
Yeah.
Up to 92 on the mound back then. I don't know. I'm sure he's not doing that anymore, but like just could sling it on the mound too. And
yeah, I don't think he's pitching anymore. I mean, this kid, they played some Power 5 schools. They went to Duke. He had 3 hits at Duke. Had a knock against NC State. I mean, kid's a ball player. I thought he was going to be a draft myself. A later round pick, but ended up at Liberty, and I bet they are thanking their lucky stars that they have him.
Yeah. Good family too, and just goes about his business quietly. You never have to worry about him, and I'm sure it's the same. I'm sure he's getting straight A's in school, and all that stuff. So
hell, half the time you don't even know he's there. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
So who you got?
I have Carter Deerdorf. He's one of the few that we'll talk about that I never actually got to see play with my own eyes. He was part of the very first team, right?
Yep. He was part of Manny's first team.
So yeah, he coached by Manny Beltran. Manny is really upbeat and positive about players usually, but he talks about Carter as if he would talking about his own son. And I think that says a lot because, he really left an impression on Manny, on the organization, and even a guy like myself who never got to watch him play. Just good kid, went about his business, loved to be at the ball field every day from what I've heard. Committed to North Greenville University.
Yep.
I don't know if they're North Greenville College or North Greenville University.
University.
But I think one of the best Division II conferences in the country. I'm not too familiar with stuff out west, but 2 or 3 of those teams are always in Cary in June or May. So I would think that they're doing something right. And what does he do over there? He hits 300 over 2 years, 47 RBIs. I think he was the rookie of the year in the Conference Carolinas his first year.
Yep.
Then decided to transfer to the University of West Georgia, which is where he is now. Right now, what I'm about to read are not video game numbers or numbers after like one game because they've played well above 10 games. Hitting 340, 21 RBIs, 6 home runs, fielding 1,000 between first base and I think right field.
Yep.
And they've played schools, Georgia Tech, stuff like that. And he's helping build a Division I program for the first time in school history. So pretty impressive what he's doing over there.
That game he had against Georgia Tech, I think he was 3 for 4, 3 for 5, something like that. A homer and 2 doubles, 5 RBIs.
Yeah.
Like, I know they lost that game and Georgia Tech baseball is on a little different level than West Georgia. But, I mean, what a day from Deerdorf. That's impressive, man. And he's one of those kids where, in July, if you heard his name called, you kind of wouldn't flinch at it. You're like, oh, no kidding, right? He's going to get his shot. I mean, that kid is really good. I mean, if any scouts listen to this podcast, go watch that kid play.
He's a professional hitter.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely.
And shout out to Jalen Colton. I already said his name once today, but West Georgia grad. So if they're ever in this area, we'll have to go check them out.
Yeah.
Watch a game.
Good for me. All right, talk about a couple current guys. We got Michael Mendoza hitting 500 as a sophomore out in California. I think they play in the second biggest league in California division. Right here in North Carolina, it's what, 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A?
Move into 8 next year, but yeah, 4A.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I think Michael plays in a 5A school or the equivalent to a 5A school out in California. 500 on the year. I think they've played 9 or 10 games already. Just every time you look up, he's got 2-3 hits. It's ridiculous. Catching every game, starting, throwing guys out. He's a great backstop, great pitch caller. He's got those boys out there on that squad. They're playing some good baseball right now.
Are they in the same league as Bosco?
No,
they're not.
Bosco's
Okay.
private. No, Michael goes to a public school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I heard them say they played him, but maybe it was a scrimmage or something.
Scrimmage. I think they might play him in scrimmage games and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah. Michael's the type of kid who he's going to be a Division I commit soon.
Yeah.
He could probably do it on the mound too, which is the funny thing. He's just kind of put him anywhere and he's going to be 86, 88 on the mound, throw guys out behind the plate. I mean, my God, just hit 5 home runs this summer.
Yeah, 5 home runs
with wood bat. 1 hasn't landed yet, somewhere in East Cobb.
Yes,
but good kid, good family. He's gonna be fun to watch for the next few years.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be a menace out there in California baseball too, especially in high school with swinging a metal bat. That's not fair. Next, we're going to Ethan Whistler. Really good start to the season on the mound so far. Was a part of a no-hitter on Friday. Wakefield no-hit Sanderson. Ethan, 6 batters, 6 punchies. I think they were winning like 8-0. They brought him out of the game at that point. They no-hit Sanderson. Also, shout out Mikey Katz, freshman catcher, caught that no-hitter. Mikey plays on our 2028 scout team. Ethan on our 2027 scout team. All right. So last 2 for us, 2 quick shout outs. I'm going to shout out Timmy Hudson. First collegiate start against New England College. 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts. They won 28-4. Timmy with his first collegiate start and first collegiate win.
Yeah.
Denny, you coach Timmy. What do you got on Timmy?
I've coached Tim since he was 13.
Yeah.
We were past the little fields, so
Yeah.
had to have been 13.
Yeah.
He just always wanted to improve. I mean, like he started out as mostly a catcher back then, catcher and hitting a little bit of outfield, I think. And then one day he was just on the mound, I think maybe indoors with you, and you're like, "Hey, Tim, just as a 13-year-old hit like 75 or something." It was something like that where we're like, okay, we need to maybe rethink his where his ceiling is on other parts. But no, man, he's one of the best kids I've ever coached. I'm not afraid to say it. It's not a secret. I'm happy for him. Happy for him when he committed. And I coached him all the way through, at least in the summer and fall, from the time he's 13 to I guess 18, 17.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy for him. Hope he keeps finding success. Hope he gains some weight and gets up to 90. I think he can. I think it's there.
I think he's 86, 87 right now.
So he's close.
Yeah. Yep. He's close. As he continues to mature and gain some weight and get stronger, I mean, he's going to be there.
He's a bulldog too.
He is. He's hard-nosed. Nothing phases him. I mean, the ball jumps out of his hand. When you look at him, it's so unassuming. He's like 5'10", like $155, and it's like, knees and elbows and everything is just flying at you, and the ball just jumps out of his hand.
Yeah. Never wants to come out of the game either.
Never.
I have to rip the ball out of his hand sometimes.
Yep. So. Absolutely. Next quick shout out, Kyle Brazo. Kyle at North Carolina Wesleyan, first collegiate start against LaGrange, top 10 team in the country. 4 at-bats, had a knock, had a walk. Starting to see a little bit of time. Played in 3 games now. He's got 7 at-bats, 3 hits, hitting .429. So he's starting to get a little bit of run. When you hit and you're on base all the time, you seem to get a little more playing time. Also fielding 1,000%. 3 chances, a couple putouts. He's getting it done over there at Wesleyan in the small sample size.
Everything I just said about Tim can be said about Kyle. I mean, he, again, same team as Tim, took over a kind of local team in a big organization that they were both on. And it was right during COVID, I believe, or actually, I think it was. So we were traveling out to some smaller towns and not the most ideal situations. These kids are used to going to Atlanta and turf fields and this, and we were in, really wherever they'd let baseball happen.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a ragtag group of kids. And I mean, if we didn't win 3 of the 5 tournaments we were in that summer. And I think without Tim and Kyle, we don't do that. So, but Kyle went from a kid who just wanted to work and improve every day to a captain and an all-conference pick on a state runner-up team last year in the biggest the biggest division in North Carolina. So he just worked his butt off for forever, and it's showing now, and is now at one of the best Division III schools in the country. So, and I'm sure he's the mayor of Rocky Mount now.
He was mayor of Wake Forest and every other team that he played on.
Wherever he was, he's the mayor.
That's right. Kyle's one of the greatest kids you'll ever meet. He just respectful, polite, works his butt off. I mean, people gravitate towards him. Teammates gravitate towards him. I mean, hell, adults gravitate towards him. I mean, he is the person that you want your son to hang around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He always does the right thing. And that's super important. And, finally getting his shot at college baseball, and, wasn't sure there for a while when he was younger. Right. And it took a lot of work, and you know what, to his credit, he put it in.
He transformed his whole body too.
Transformed his whole body. Right. He was a really good hockey player when he was younger. Really good hockey player, and, decided to play baseball, and hockey players are super stiff in the hips, and you really can't be like that when you play baseball. And man, he transformed himself into quite an athlete, and having some success early on. And I'm really happy for Kyle.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't wait to go see him play too soon. I need to make a weekend trip out there.
It's only 45 minutes from you, Dennis.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that hard.
Shouldn't be hard.
All right. We are going to go off into some Major League Baseball stuff right now. Some predictions, some picks. We are going to start in the American League. We're going to start in the American League East. Denny, who you got as your division winner for the American League East?
All right, I did my research this time around. We had a conversation about this, and John was not impressed with my knowledge that day. It's hard to keep up with stuff right now. We're in the middle of our season. But anyway, so AL East, I want the Orioles to win it, and I think they can. But that Yankees team is going to be hard to beat, I think. I mean, that lineup is still no joke. Still the short porch.
Yep.
They picked up some pitching, the Yankees too, with Devin Williams. He uprooted their whole shaving policy. So
Yep.
I think that's going to be a good division, man. But I'm going to go Orioles, but with an asterisk that the Yankees are going to be really hard to beat, I think.
Yeah, I got the Orioles too. I think that they're young, they're exciting. Superstars in Rushman and Henderson. I think their bullpen is really, really good. Their starting pitching concerns me, but I think they're going to score enough runs that at the end of the day, if you can get the ball to the back end, I think that they're going to win a lot of baseball games. So I got the O's as well. All right, let's go to the Central. Denny, who you got in the Central?
I'm going to go sleeper pick Guardians. Just have a feeling they're going to play a little bit of good baseball.
Okay.
I think the obvious pick is the Royals, though. I think they're young. They got some spark to them. And I think probably the weaker AL division. That might be a hot take to some people, but that one's kind of always a toss-up to me.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a gambler, and I'm looking on DraftKings right now. Minnesota is actually favored plus 210.
I noticed that.
Division.
I don't see that happening, but prove me wrong, Minnesota.
My pick was going to be the Royals. I really want it for Salvi. Salvi and I are former teammates in Venezuela. We played together for a few years. He's a great guy. He's getting a little long in the tooth now, and I really hope that they can win it for him this year, get him to the playoffs. I'm not sure how much longer he's got. He's 34 years old. He was a big leaguer at 20.
He's
been around for 14 years.
He still hits like crazy though, doesn't he? Hit 50 bombs a couple years ago or 48 bombs or something. I can't remember.
Yeah. No, he hits but he catches 150 games a year.
I don't know how much longer that'll happen, but
I
do love Sal though, man. He's a
professional.
Yeah.
Professional backstop.
Yeah.
Is what he is. All right. Jenny, let's go to the West.
I have the Rangers. I think they can beat the Astros, but I think like you said the other day, it's probably the Astros to lose. But the Rangers have some guys that I'm just interested to see what happens with them. Like, what does Leiter and Rocker do for them? Are they actually going to go in and dominate the way everyone thinks they are? And they have a couple good bats too. And I think that the organization has done the right things, built them the ballpark, all that stuff. So I have them. But again, every division just kind of has one team that is going to be really hard to beat for now.
Yeah. No, I think it's the Astros division to lose. If the Rangers won it, it wouldn't surprise me. But I got the Stros down in Houston. Honestly, hell, at the end of the day, like I wouldn't be surprised if the Mariners won it.
Yeah,
although they did not have a good offseason. They did not have a good offseason. They made zero acquisitions to make that team better.
Drag them through the mud the other day.
Yeah. Yep.
No, by the way, kind of related, Rangers, my favorite uniforms right now in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue that.
You don't hate that?
Is that a hot take out of you?
You're a classic uni guy. You're like a Dodgers, Yankees. Yeah. I like the crazy stuff. I like all the City Connect and all that. So I like the Rangers.
I got you. All right. Let's shoot over to the NL. Let's go to the NL East. Denny, what you got in the East?
Phillies, fighting Phils.
Fighting Phils.
I think they are electric. I think that city is really fun to be in the playoffs, and they have their boys back. So I think it's them.
I concur. That's all I got.
I think the Braves could be really good. They stay healthy, but
Braves are the favorites.
Are they the favorite?
Yep, Braves are the favorites.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't see how you go into Philadelphia in the late season or early postseason and not get a little rattled, no matter who you are.
Yeah. Philly's a tough place to play, man.
Yeah,
it's just a tough place to play. Great fan base. All right, let's move to the Central.
I have the Brewers.
The Crew.
Yeah. Don't know much about the Central. Don't really get a lot of that here in North Carolina, those baseball games. I just think that they've been pretty good for a while, and I think they might finally kind of catch a little bit of fire. Now, I will say, never count out Tito.
Never.
I don't know. So that was a big hire by them. I was interested. I was surprised he came back. I know he had some health issues, so I'm hoping he's healthy and maybe that lit the fire back in him to be back in the game. But I think he's probably one of the best managers of all time. And like we talked about the other day, I don't think he's there to be a puppet of the analytics department. And I think he's probably got one of the best baseball minds. And he just knows how to pull a clubhouse together, man. Like I watched that Red Sox documentary, and they all adore that man. So
Yep. No, I got the Reds. I got my hometown Reds.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio, born in Columbus. I lived in Cincinnati for a few years. I actually made my debut in that ballpark. I just think that, Tito is really good. They have a really exciting player, Ellie De La Cruz, and I think the Reds in the Central. Do you even want to talk about the West?
I actually do, because I think the Padres, I'm not picking them, but I think they have the talent to.
Sure.
And I think there's been a little bit of back and forth between some interviews and stuff between players. So I think that's going to become a fun little rivalry. I don't think the Dodgers not make the playoffs. They're going to be in the playoffs, but I think that's going to be more fun than we think out there. I guess it just depends on who wins more outside of, however many 15 games they play amongst themselves.
Yeah. I got the Dodgers in a landslide.
Do you?
Yeah. Yep. Talk about a manager. Man, Doc he's something else out there.
Yeah.
Their starting pitching, I think, is going to be ungodly good. They're deep in the bullpen. They're deep everywhere. I mean, they have 2 or 3 guys that can literally play every position on the field.
Well, and for the longest time, it felt like they just couldn't win that last game. They won in 20. Some people called it the Mickey Mouse World Series. I don't agree with that one bit, but he finally went out and won the World Series in a true season against the Yankees, no less.
Yep.
And I think that makes them scarier.
Sure.
Like you can't say what you said 3 years ago about them, 5 years ago about them.
Nope.
Because they've been good for what, since 16, 17. They've been just kind of dominating.
Yeah.
So,
they win the West all the time.
Yeah.
They win the West all the time. They got the MVP. I mean, I just think it's just going to be a landslide. I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah. Well, I could see that happening. I hope the Padres give them a little bit of trouble, just to make it fun.
Okay. All right, let's scoot over to the individual awards. Let's go to the MVP of the American League.
American League MVP. Let me hear who you have first.
I got Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's our MVP in the American League. I think coming out of Baltimore, young, exciting, rookie of the year last year. I think he's going to be MVP this year.
You think they have to win some ball games for that to happen?
They're going to be over 500. I mean, they'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Right. I think, I just think, I think he's the guy there.
Oh, I don't disagree with that at all.
Yep.
I have I have a feeling based on what I can see in Aaron Judge, kind of seeing him through a coaching lens now. Not that I'm qualified to be evaluating big leaguers. I think he's going to have a little bit of chip on his shoulder and have a big year, and he'll be the MVP in the AL.
Okay, I like it. So we got Judge and Henderson. All right, let's go to the National League.
I think the obvious pick is Ohtani, but just to not, I don't know. I'd have to see. I think if he hits another 50 bombs, then don't even have the vote. Just send the trophy.
They're putting him on the mound this year. He's going to pitch this year too.
Yeah, that too. But I think if he just has a normal season for Ohtani's sake, meaning he probably hits 280 with 30 bombs.
Yep.
I think if another guy like Harper or Acuna does it, then they should be in the conversation. But I mean, if Ohtani goes out, hits 30 bombs, hits 300, and wins 10 games on the mound, I mean that's pretty valuable if you're going by the definition.
Yep. You know who hasn't been mentioned?
Who's that?
Juan Soto.
I don't know, man. I think he's gonna have a good year, not most valuable, not MVP year.
Okay. All right. Let's shoot over to the Cy Young. Let's go AL Cy Young.
I think I have Crochet. That was a last second pick this morning. I was kind of reading up. Went from one, like you said, one Sox to the other.
Yep.
I think the Red Sox have a chance to be sneaky good, maybe a wild card. They got a lot of young guys, as well as I think another brilliant manager. But I hope he has a big year for him. So I'm going Crochet.
All right. I'm going to go down the list a little bit. I'm going to go to the West Coast. Give me George Kirby.
I like that.
AL Cy Young. Kirby, AL Cy Young. So we got Crochet and Kirby.
I thought you were going Garrett Cole for sure.
Yeah. Cole's hurt, man.
Is he?
He's hurt. Elbow injury in spring training. Like MRI, CAT scan, this, that, and the other. I mean,
going to start slow because of that, probably.
Yeah. There you go.
Tough ballpark to pitch in, too, I'd imagine.
Seattle? Or Yankee Stadium?
Yankee Stadium, yeah.
Oh, it's short porch to right, man. Ball goes. He doesn't give up a ton of home runs anyway, though, does he?
No, but, I mean, if you're coming back, you're a little banged up,
Yeah.
You're in that stadium.
Well, they get mishit balls that fly out of that yard, so.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the National League.
I think I have Skeens. He's got 2 more pitches. It's not fair. I think if he stays healthy, he could have a run at maybe 250 wins, 220 in his career, going long term. But for now, if he stays healthy, I mean, my God, adding 2 pitches to that arsenal, throwing these frisbees up there and then strike you out with 103. I don't know that gets any better.
Yeah, I think it's Skeens in a landslide. I wouldn't mind seeing Sale give him a run for his money.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't mind seeing Glasnow stay healthy for a year and see what he can do as far as a Cy Young candidate.
He was my pick the other day, and then I decided against it just because never seems to put a full season together, but I like him a lot too.
Yep. Okay. All right. It's a little early for this, but let's put some names out there. Let's go AL Rookie of the Year.
I went back and forth a lot on this. I'm going Jason Dominguez.
Ooh, okay.
I think his bat will take him to that award. I know defense, he's still really learning, right? The outfield, or kind of just hoping to improve it from what I've heard.
Yeah.
But he's got a lot of hype. I think I don't think that's a hot pick by any means.
No, very cool.
I could also see, I mentioned this earlier, like a Kumar Rocker kind of guy, just, dominating on the mound, having some fresh stuff that maybe they don't have a ton on yet.
Sure.
So I could see somebody like that winning it too.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Jackson Jobe.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Detroit. I think, rookie of the year at this point, we're still in spring training. It's, really hard to say, but I think Job is going to be my pick for no other apparent reason, but Detroit does really, really well with young pitchers.
Okay.
So, let's go up to Detroit with Jackson Job.
It is kind of a hard, you never know who gets called up in April, stays the whole year, and then didn't even think about him.
No mention of Jackson Holiday.
I didn't see him on anything, so I'm questioning if he's still a rookie status.
He is. He didn't play. Yeah, not enough days.
Okay.
Not enough service time.
I mean, I think he could easily win it too. I mean, he came back looking like a new man this offseason.
Yep.
So.
Yep, and he's got genes. He's got bloodline.
Yep.
Dad was pretty good.
It says exceeded rookie limits last year.
Really?
I just Googled it because I was surprised I didn't see him on a couple articles I was reading through.
Imagine that.
But if he is, he could take it.
I was positive you had to have a certain amount of service time, and I didn't think he qualified, but I've been wrong before. Not often, but before. All right, NL rookie.
Dylan Cruz.
Yeah,
he's been good for a while. Apparently he hit very well in the minor leagues last year.
Yep. He had a September call-up last year.
Yeah, he played in 30 games, I heard, or something, 28 games or something with the Nationals. So he's seen it before.
Yep.
I don't think he'll be pressing as much as he would have if maybe he only, got a spot start or something. So
sure.
And again, that's not a hot take. I think everyone kind of is expecting big things out of him.
Yep. Well, I think I'm gonna go with the front runner, Roki Sasaki. He throws 100. His splitter is gross, and he's a little older, a little more seasoned.
Yeah.
Still
technically a rookie, but
a rookie, right? First time in major leagues.
He's been in the circuit.
Yep. He's played at high level baseball, played in the World Baseball Classic, played over in Japan for 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, he is really good. In his first spring start, 3 innings, 5 punchies, and those Reds hitters were coming back saying, "What is that? That splitter is really good." He's the front runner, and I'm an LA homer, so I'm going to go ahead and take him.
Do you put Japanese professional baseball on par with Major League Baseball?
It's close. No, but it's close.
Maybe very high level AAA, maybe?
It's close enough. I'd say high level AAA in general. One place I never got to play, I really wanted to play, but never made it there. I think that, a lot of these guys that come over from Japan have a lot of success.
Yeah.
A lot of success. So especially their first couple of years.
Yeah, a lot of people say that they put it 1-to-1. I don't know, but it doesn't seem that way to me because I would think more people would come over if that was the case. But
yeah,
like you said, I mean, look at Ichiro and Ohtani and all these guys like
Hideki Matsui.
Yeah.
Hideo Nomo.
Yeah.
Right. I just think that. Yeah, I don't think it's 1-to-1, but I think it's close. But I mean, he throws 100.
Yeah, that's going to be good anywhere.
Exactly, that's going to play anywhere you go. So, all right, Denny. Well, that's a good show. Let's a little teaser for next time. We're going to go over some Lynx baseball team schedules. We're going to go over some coaches. Kind of talk about some teams. Have another host on with us. I think Coach Ryan Kelly is going to join us next time. We will we'll go from there. Like, listen, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Any last words?
The bleep button ready for Coach Kelly, or are we just going to let it fly? Or
no, when Coach Kelly's on, be careful who you're playing this around. He likes 4-letter words. Sometimes they start with F, sometimes they don't. So, we no bleep button on this podcast, but I'm actually surprised. It's been 2 episodes and I haven't let an F-bomb fly yet. So
And then looking real ahead, we got to do an episode in West Palm Beach somewhere, whether it's a restaurant, the Airbnb near the pool.
In a restaurant. Denny, what'd you have in mind?
A little Copacabana podcast.
That I think is a must. I think we will end up at Copacabana and doing a podcast. I think there's going to be 3 or 4 of us there. Mojitos,
Maybe try to have one
and podcast.
Maybe try to have one in Baton Rouge. I'm sure we could get a room somewhere in that facility to do it too.
Yeah,
if possible.
Yeah. Got some good guests with the Marucci guys down there in Baton Rouge. So, hey, also a quick shout out. I want to shout out another one of our sponsors. I want to shout out Go Route. Go Route is the leading coach to player communication tool for youth baseball. I know they got put into college baseball. I know they're in some high school baseball. I want to say they're the official coach to player communication at PBR, Prep Baseball Report. Mike and those guys at Go Route, quality people. They make a great product. Dennis, you guys at Millbrook, you guys use Go Route, don't you?
We do. And when it was being explained to me, I had my doubts on just how, you're giving us a tablet and 2 smartwatches essentially. Yep. And then they said, my first question was, what about Wi-Fi? Sometimes these fields are, 300 yards from the school. Nope, it's on LTE or whatever, 4G. Yep. And, delays and all that. I mean, now it's just, I literally, I have the tablet kind of like this, just holding it, press fastball away. Maybe a second later, the player gets it. Right now, we can only do pitcher catcher.
Yep.
In North Carolina, but I've already seen how, you can have all 9 guys wearing it, or, even I'm not sure how that works with a third base coach. I think that the manager probably stays in the dugout after that, but still, yep. I mean, just something pops up right here and, steal, yep. whatever, bunt,
yep.
all that stuff. So
we're going to, my 2016, we're going to have it all over the field. We're going to do offensive signs, defensive signs, pitcher catcher. I mean, everyone's going to have it. I'm really excited. They're going to be a great partner for a long time to come. We're going to get that stuff out there for them and test it all over the field and make sure Go Route really hits the map, especially here in North Carolina. I think that's going to be a big thing. But no more excuses for missing signs with Go Route. You want to head over to their website, www.goroute.com, GOROUT.com. Check them out. They got some cool stuff going on. I think they use it for football too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. I think they're in football as well. So, all right, Denny, that's it for me. Like, listen, subscribe to the channel, and we will see everyone next time.